Hi, I'm Martine Guerrier. I'm known to many as Chief Mom of New York City. As the parent of an adolescent boy, I hope that this video will help you understand some of the tumultuous changes your child will experience in physical, social, emotional, and academic development. The middle school years can be a difficult time. Sometimes it may feel as if you've joined your child on an emotional roller coaster. In this video, we're going to try and help you understand the challenges your adolescent child is facing and how you can help support learning and growth through this time of change.
School Source New York City sat down with two very different groups to discuss the middle school experience. 15 students from George J. Ryan Middle School in Fresh Meadows, Queens, and 15 of their parents. Each group was filmed separately, so participants would feel comfortable and candid among their peers. The conversations were allowed to follow the participants' comments and concerns, their advice, and their anxieties. Their dialogue is unscripted and the truth unvarnished. We hope you'll find something in these kids and their parents that helps you learn a bit more about your child and yourself.
Communication is key when parenting. Children need to feel comfortable. They need to feel like they're being listened to. They're not going to want to hear everything that a parent tells them.
My son accuses me of being the most annoying person in the world. He said, all you do is talk, talk, talk. But in that talking, I'm hoping that those seeds are being planted.
The same speech all the time. Like, you're going out and do the same speech, same thing every time. It gets kind of annoying sometimes. Like, okay, I know this, I know the speech, or whatever. Call you 5 times, okay, goodbye.
You know, children start rolling their eyes and they don't want to hear it. It doesn't matter. Keep saying it because they will remember.
Adolescents' friends are very important to them. They play a major role in their lives, and they tend to seek advice from their friends.
I tell them all the time, I said, you need to get information from people that can tell you the truth or lead you in the right direction. I said, your friends don't know any more than you know.
Sometimes it is better to talk to your parents because they already went through it and they already went through middle school, so they probably know more about the experiences than your peers.
Times have changed, but they have been through some of our experiences.
But sometimes parents forget how it is to be in junior high school. Because it's like so long ago, because they're so old and stuff. But they forget like how it is to like feel to be in high school, to walk through these halls, to have drama and all this stuff.
Kids want to talk to you. There's a place in their lives for you. They want you to talk to them about what it was like growing up. But recognize that you may have forgotten how hard it was.
If you want an inside sneak peek at your child's life, have them invite their friends over to your home. That way, you are sort of opening the lines of communication with you. It makes it comfortable for them if they know that they have the, quote, cool parent and their friends are allowed to come over.
Talking to each other about your day, talking about what was happening in the news, what happened on the street, various kinds of things that parents and teenagers can share with each other that's not about what they should or shouldn't do, and et cetera. And that kind of talk, that kind of communication builds good relationships, which then means when they have to talk about things that are more complicated, like sex, like physical changes, it will be less awkward.
The one biggest thing for me that I can't talk to her about yet is physical changes. This is my baby, and I cannot say anything to her.
I think the time to talk about puberty is right now, when parents start noticing changes in terms of voice or you know, a body image.
What if other kids are maturing faster than you are physically? Like they wear a bra and you're still, nothing's there. I mean, is that an issue? Is some kids mature faster than others?
If you're not fully developed, like, you get made fun of. I've seen people, like, in the hallways, like, people call them flat-chested.
My son just turned 14, and all of a sudden he has hair on his legs, he's 6'2", he's very masculine looking, and the other day he came home, he says, Mom, I was in Dunkin' Donuts, I'm sitting down, I'm having my coffee and a donut, this girl comes over to me, why don't you buy me a donut? Why don't we hang out? And he says, why would I buy you anything? And he has no idea. He's very, when it comes to stuff like that, he's not at that stage yet, but yet his physique is there. Right. And he's attracting the attention of the girls, and he doesn't understand why.
Well, that's what I was gonna ask. Like, what is the level of maturity? When do you start talking about this? What is the right time?
Children vary, of course, in the age in which they begin to experience various kinds of changes related to puberty. But I think it's absolutely critical that that becomes a normal part of the conversation, because the fact of the matter is they're already having these conversations with their friends.
A boy called Lauren, just a regular friend that family knows, and they said, would you like to take a walk? So she comes home from this walk, and she said, it was a date, it was a date. I said, what are you talking about? It was a date. Listen, he came to the house, we walked to Barnes & Noble, he bought me a hot chocolate, he paid, and he walked me home. That is a date. And I'm like, well, I guess it's a date. Is it too late to tell her she's not allowed? I don't.
Now, dating is an interesting issue because there's so much variability in middle school regarding who's dating and who's not dating, who's ready for dating, who's not ready for dating. I would say it needs to be in the context of helping your child build healthy relationships. Kids repeat what they see.
It's important for parents to understand, to open the conversation and start the conversation when they see signs when their children is ready to talk about it. Have you tried talking with your daughter? Have you started initiating that conversation?
Not yet. I believe my wife have.
I have spoken to her, and she seems kind of shy about talking, she's at that age where she doesn't really want to talk to the parents as much. She's starting to talk to her friends more and trusting her friends more. So it's always a constant struggle, to communicate with her.
How do you educate yourself? How do you learn about sex?
My friends, they tell me about it, and then I learn this stuff.
I think you should more so talk to your parents because they went through these kind of things, so they're more informed, so they could talk to you about it and you could get down to the nitty-gritty.
I learn that in school every day, so that's how people tell me, and you see it out in the world. Like you see it watching TV, and maybe you come across it, and that's how you learn about it. Just experiences.
It's important for parents to understand that children are getting their information about sex from a whole different medium that we got them as children. There's the internet, there are movies, they are seeing things glamorized, and in all reality, we all know sex and dating is not like that. It's complicated, and there's a lot of things that come up, and it can be uncomfortable.
People don't call the house anymore. They call directly to the cell phone. They could be calling at any time of day. So we try and do the best we can to monitor that.
I don't think there's anything wrong with the little snooping and looking and investigating in their Facebook page or in their phones, because it's important for parents to know what's going on in their children's lives.
How many of you guys sleep with your cell phones? Why?
No, I put it on
I feel my mom will go through my texts.
When my daughter first got the phone at 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, she's still getting phone calls. I said, okay, how about we have some rules? After 10 o'clock, no more phone calls. If I hear you on the phone, I'm gonna have to take your phone away.
How many of you guys use text messaging? How many texts do you send a month?
About 2,000.
I find it easier to text more than calling, because when I call them, I don't want, especially when you're hanging out with friends, you don't want to know what you're talking about with your parents or whatever. So it's easier to text than to call your parents, because then you talk out loud and all your friends can hear.
My problem is that if I talk to someone on the phone, like my really close friends, I'll spend too long on the phone with them. I'll have 45-minute conversations, and I would rather send 2,000 text messages a month than sit there on a 45-minute conversation every single day.
How many of you think your Facebook should be private and your parents shouldn't be looking at it?
Me, because it's basically our own privacy. We have our own private chats with our friends.
Whenever you're on the internet and you're chatting with someone and it's a girl, if you're a boy, then they, oh, who's that? They're like, oh. Yeah, they're like nosy, and then I would like keep it to myself. I wouldn't talk to anyone really.
Oftentimes I feel that they feel as if they're the only ones going through the experience, as if we've never gone through it before. And so, you know, we just try and communicate as much as we can, and sometimes we have to go into the text to see what's going on. Sometimes we have to check the computer.
Oh no, we never do that.
I think when it comes to privacy, children need to be trusted to experiment with, with the internet, but there needs to be limits.
I was in trouble once, and my mom asked for my Facebook and AIM account, and I told her no. But she started yelling at me, and I told her it was my privacy.
Did she think you were doing bad things?
She thought I was doing bad things that I wasn't doing.
Our biggest mistake was actually giving her her own computer, but because she's in 7th grade, she has to do her work, and we have to use the computer. So we were forced to give her her own, and that's when it went out of control. Yeah. Facebook and AIM, and even, and then, and I see that she's not focusing on her, because how can you?
Kids are using MySpace, they're using Facebook, and they're using it a lot. Their parents, though, are trying to find out what they're doing. When we talked to the parents, we saw that some parents were spying on their kids, getting into it when the accounts were left open, guessing passwords, and yet the easiest thing to do is ask your kids. You want to know what they're doing? It's not a tech issue. It's a communication issue. Setting firm rules around media use and getting on the computer and using social network sites is critical, especially during middle school, setting firm guidelines about the extent of time they can be on that, but also really, again, trying to foster the relationships that you think are good for them, that are healthy relationships.
And it is perfectly healthy for your child to use electronics, Facebook, texting, because this is part of the natural teenage dance of getting to know each other.
You guys know what cyberbullying is? How many of you have experienced cyberbullying?
One time someone made a Facebook in my name and they put my picture up there, and I didn't know how they got it, so it can be dangerous.
When it comes to cyberbullying, and if your child is being bullied, students all the time, post things on Facebook, or false rumors come up on the chat rooms, and when your child comes up to you and mentions this, you should not hesitate to contact the school's administration, dean, assistant principal, or guidance counselor to fix the situation, so that there is a dialogue that occurs between the students and parents, and where all parties understand that this is inappropriate behavior.
I basically take the approach, okay, why don't you sit back and look what you want for your life first? Because if you don't even know what you want for your life, it's going to be really difficult for you to really focus on your dreams.
I know what these kids are doing. I know what happens. And, again, we just remind him, listen, we have expectations for you. So you have to make sure that you're taking care of yourself and making the right decisions.
It's tough and it's aggravating, but it's going to pay off later on in life when you have a good job. And I also have a social life, and I would keep my priorities first. I know that grades, and my friends understand that too, so we know that grades come first. So study first, then hang out later.
I agree with you, because my mom is always like, homework first. Like, your schoolwork is more important than hanging out with your friends, because if you want to get a good job, you need to have good grades.
Looking at the larger context of what kids are doing in school is important when you think about the grades, and not just to focus on the grades.
Parents can be easily tempted to sometimes help the children do their work, or maybe even do their work for them. It's important for children to do the work, and if they fail and they make mistakes, it's okay. Those are learning experiences.
With Lauren, I step back a lot. It's number 5. And as long as she's getting it done and she's doing it, I leave her the ability to organize it and to prioritize on her own, because then she feels good that it's my work and that I did it, not you. It's not like her mother got the grade on the social studies test or whatever. It's hers. And I like to reward the progress rather than the grade, because you can't always win, you can't always be the best, but you can be the best you can be.
We hope this video has helped you understand some of the changes and issues your adolescent is facing, and that we have provided you with practical tips on how you can help your child succeed. Remember, you're not alone in this process.
For more information, visit www.13.org/edonline/SchoolSourceNYC. SchoolSource New York City is brought to you by the New York City Department of Education, Office for Family Engagement and Advocacy, RMC Research Corporation, and 13 in association with WNET.org.